a recap of some of the things that happened last live stream, but just to go through it for the peeps real quick. I mean, if you haven't caught any of it somehow, here we are. We are playing in a pocket world, very tiny world, and we want to conquer all of it. I mean, we're gonna. Ooh, there's a. I think that's new. Wait. Oh my. Okay, I was gonna say there's 3 civilizations on this little pocket world. There's our civilization of the dwarves. They're cool. I mean, obviously we're looking to expand that. There are some goblins and there are some humans. So the humans are over here. Their outline's a little hard to see. They got kind of a light purplish outline. They have been expanding. And then we've got some goblins over here in orange. But it looks like the goblins took over one of the dwarven sites. How terrible. This was a dwarven fortress over here, and it's been conquered. Also, it looks like they conquered one of the human villages, although I'm a little less concerned about that. In these sites down here in Little Teal, these are dwarven sites that are linked to us. These are our sort of vassal sites in here. So, wow. Okay, we have raided one of the goblin bases already, but clearly we have to be a little bit more aggro. We're gonna prep to probably retake this city over here. Damn, that is brutal. We are, in addition to playing in a pocket world, we're also playing on a fairly small, can I zoom out more than this? Okay, a fairly small map. We're only doing a 2x2 world tile map for actual fortress as opposed to default 4x4. So it's a very small area to work in, but it's turned out to be quite lovely. We haven't done anything with the surface, kind of sort of intentional. Because our plans are so militaristic this time, we're making sure to train a lot of our forces. We currently have 3 squads training all the time, and they just train on the surface. The idea being, if we get attacked, we just fight them. None of this hiding behind walls things. No. We just go ahead and fight. We are in a wasteland there. I think we embarked, there were like 3 trees on the surface, and they've never regrown, so that was it. But we have just recently breached a cavern lair, so we have access to some underground trees finally, which is great. We may end up building some defensive structures over here, especially for situations where we send our military out raiding. We might want to be able to pull up our walls while our military is away, because some of these raids we may want to send literally everyone, or maybe all but one squad, which does make me think we might go and form another squad relatively soon, because I probably will aim to about half our population being in the military, but we'll take a look at that in a sec. Anyway, butcher's table, little tannery at the surface. We got some surface crops going on as well. We've got our refuse pile, which includes also our little graveyard. So we got some goblin bodies over here from we got sieged twice, I believe. The first siege, I think they immediately broke and left. And then I'm giving myself the finger. And then the second siege we did defeat, but it wasn't a very large siege. So it was a pretty easy thing. I think one person got like a light cut in the battle. I think that was it in terms of casualties on our side, which is pretty good. Anyway, if we go down 1 level, we do have our underground farms over here in sort of a bit of a sandy lair. It's not the greatest of farms, but it should work perfectly fine. We're going to keep going down this little ramp until we get to the main entrance level of our fort. I will point out, if I go back up 1 level, I do have this area I'm referring to as the attic for just some general storage here. I mean, mostly just tons of furniture storage, because you need like infinitude furniture storage. I also have a little bit of finished goods and some wood over here, although that's probably going to change in just a moment. On the main floor, originally we had our dining hall and sort of like the a tavern just for our citizens. This has recently been moved down to a new, much more elaborate dining hall. Not sure what I'm going to do with this space yet. We've got a handful of workshops over here, although if for those of you who have read the document at the bottom, there's a to-do. I'm planning on moving these. Probably one of the first things we do on the stream here. And then we've got a little bit more generic stockpilage. And again, yeah, some of this will probably get changed a little bit today, early on. Handful of bedrooms over here, quite elaborate, 2x3 bedrooms, smooth with all the basic furnishings. Probably responsible for one of the reasons our dwarves have been so freaking happy. And that and the fact we had a proper dining hall right from the start. Go down a level, we've got a few more workshops, a few more bedrooms. We've got our hospital over here, which is also doubling as a doctor's guild hall for some constant training, which is good. We have a pig pen and a turkey pen, although we have a lot of poults running around that are kind of unassigned to anything, but that's okay. We've got an egg industry, we've got a meat and leather industry just going on with no babysitting. Hey Murphy, thanks for the sub! Going down 1 more level, it's a little bit obscure because I decided to issue some smoothing commands before we started here, But this is our main metal processing floor. We've got 3 furnaces over here, as well as our stockpile for our, this is where our coal gets stored. This is where our metal ore gets stored.
Pay attention,
We've got flux-stone over here, and then we have bins full of bars. And then we have 3 actual metalsmiths forges over here, where we're going to be producing weapons and armor and anything else that might be requested of us. We've also got a wood furnace here, which is currently full of ash, because I realized I didn't actually have an ash storage. Which I've got a little stockpile for it there, so that should get moved in just a scooch. Auberge and Tiburon, thank you very much for subbing as well. Both of you remember your Twitch Prime button. That's very important because Twitch does not like to remind you about that. I will note today is the last day of September, therefore probably the last day of Subtember, which allows you to get your subscriptions for 25% off or 30% off if you pre-buy for a 3-month block. So if you have been looking to get in cheap and support the streamer, today I think is your last day to do it. Versus Happy Saturday, rarely get to catch you streaming. You got me obsessed with DF. I mean, what a great game to be obsessed with though, right? Right? We got some guild halls and temples going on here. I think this is still our generic temple to everything, which is undecorated right now, but it gives some dwarfs the ability to still pray if nothing is working out for them. And then, yeah, we've got, actually, I just realized this room here.
Hey, Quill,
oh, no, it is a zone. Okay, never mind. Oh, this is the Healthful Communion Zone. We may be able to go and rezone this particular area because these guys here had wanted a big fancy church. So we dug them out a much more involved area, a little bit deeper down. And so we may be able to de-zone this and assign it something else, depending on how the value situation goes. 3! Thank you very much for the gift subs. 10 gift subs to the channel. So much, thank you. You could turn that upper tavern into a library. That's a brilliant idea. You know what? I'm going to make sure to write it down in my little to-do list over here. Yes, I like that. Change old tavern to library. I really like that idea. Okay. Right. So here, if we go down one more level, here we have our stoneworkers workshops over here. They are primarily going to be making stone furniture. We've got 2 of them because we do need, when we're decking out like new areas with bedrooms, we need lots of doors, lots of coffers, lots of cabinets being made really quickly. So we want at least a couple there. We've got a little bit more furniture stockpile, and then we've got a stockpile here for non-economic stone, which is what we use for stone furniture carving. The fact that this isn't full up makes me think we might be due to just mine out some layer stone, just to increase these numbers, but we'll come back to it. We've got some fancy bedrooms over here. This is very important because we have an overabundance of nobles. So we've been elevated to not just a barony, but to a county, in fact. So we have a count, Porky Plugs over here. So this was our noble over fortress. And then I think, you know what I'm realizing now? It was probably when this site fell to the goblins. I think when this site fell to the goblins, someone, I think there was a noble that died. Anyway, 2 of our dwarves inherited baronies. We have 2 more barons in here. Krieg Zoshi and Wild Wayfarer are both barons. Well, they're both baronesses, but I don't know. I guess no, they can do mandates, which is a little annoying because this is more royalty than we should or nobility than we should have to deal with. But anyway, they've got some fancy rooms over there. They're waiting for some fancy tombs to work on that. I mean, we could always have an accident with a Dwarven Atom Smasher, but it is fun to keep them around, so we'll see what we can do until things go badly. So if we descend a little bit deeper, big lair full of bedrooms, another layer over here. This is our sort of tomb level. So we have 3 fancy tombs in here. Well, we have room for 4. We have 1 already there. We have 3 more being built. The 2 of them are going to be assigned to Krieg and Wild Wayfarer over here. They just are waiting for a coffin, and they're also waiting to be engraved, so they're fancy enough. And all these staircases down go to these little tombs for the commoners. We haven't used a single one. Somehow, even though we're 4 years, we're in our 5th year at this point, we haven't had a single dwarf die, which is shocking and bizarre and weird, and almost certainly going to change radically soon. But for now, our good luck is excellent. So we haven't used any of these coffins. We haven't assigned any coffins over here yet either. I think all these have been zoned. Yeah, so they're ready to go if something does happen, or I should say when something happens. Now the bedroom layer And then over here, this was something we were doing late at the end of the last stream, which was carve out more places for guild hall / temples, including the much fancier temples over here. So this guy over here, this is the Helpful Communion temple, which is the one where they wanted a fancy temple complex, which I think is over 10,000 dwarf bucks worth. If I go up then, let's say I do this and I go into paint mode and delete. So I want to delete this part of this temple complex. And then if I go back down over here and check the value, maybe it hasn't updated, but I suspect the value of this place is nice enough. This is an artifact coffin. We've got some silver statues. We've got engravings. It's fairly spacious. I suspect this will continue to be fancy enough for that. And then, yeah, we've got some extra place ready to go for later. And then this level here, again, I just issued a smooth command. I suppose what I could do is I could cancel the smooth command for a sec so we can see. But it's just more bedrooms, plus there's a dungeon over here with a bunch of cages. This level is our relatively new, extremely fancy dining hall. Very spacious. Again, it's doubling as both a dining hall and a citizens-only tavern. We've got a tavern keeper assigned. We've got some coffers here, so theoretically mugs and instruments will get delivered. Hopefully we'll start seeing some dance parties and stuff there. We may go ahead and put in some more tables and chairs, although I suspect this is going to be a good number. This is also our kitchens and our stills, as well as, so raw food goes over here. Our prepared food goes there. We probably don't need as much storage as this. And our drinks over here. In fact, what I'm thinking, since we're looking at it already, I'm going to go and shrink the prepared foods down. Oops. That's not the way I wanted to. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. How weird it. Okay. Very bizarre. It was like remembering that I was in paint mode. I'm going to increase the drink stockpile space. Because the cooked meals do stack a lot, but we do need a lot of booze sitting around. So that's going well. This is going very nice. If I remember correctly, zoned rooms are valued at Z level, so it's only counting that particular level. There used to be an exploiter zoning multiple platinum walls in a corner and zoning menu. Oh. So which level does it choose as the base? So anyway, I guess it means that it's good that our temple is just one floor, so we don't have to worry about it anymore anyway. This level here, I have, right before the stream started, designate a bunch of digging. And the reason is I want to move on our upper floor over here. We've got our entrance floor. We've got our clothing industry, so loom, clothier's shop, and a dye shop. We've got also some wood industry, so we've got a bowyer and a carpenter's workshop. We've got the mechanics workshop over here, and then a crafts dwarf workshop, where we're making our mugs. I think I would like to move that down to a larger area with more dedicated stockpiles and stuff. So that's the plan currently with this floor here. And then, yeah, if we descend deeper and deeper and deeper, we will run into the cavern level over here. We just put some doors over here just for a little bit of, like, vague traffic control. We've issued some trees to be chopped. We're picking up a little bit of plants. I've also indicated that some of these veins of gems or ore should be carved out. We do know about a bunch of troglodytes over here, but they are currently not reachable. There's actually no way to jump across here or do anything, because I was going to go and cull them. Turns out we can't right now, which also means we don't have to worry about them. So we've got that. Now, of course, we might be looking at forgotten beasts and stuff now that we've breached the cavern lair, but that's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and unpause immediately. Okay, some things died, but that's okay. It's just something being butchered. Currently don't have any plump helmet spawns. Okay. Dance of Cavern is one of my favorite tracks on the soundtrack. Is that what's playing now? It is what's playing now. So, yeah, other than that, we got to get ready for some raids. So what we've done, so at the end of last stream, well, or whenever, we sent the Oily Tails out to raid a site. They were successful. They brought back a little bit of stuff. I said that was enough to consider them veterans, so I've updated their uniform from the recruit uniform, which is just all leather, to the veteran uniform, which has an outer layer of steel armor, which is currently being produced. The fact that things are missing over here isn't so dire, because they should still have their old leather armor. The veterans uniform is their recruit uniform with metal on top. So these guys should all still have leather armor in all these slots, assuming they had it before. So they're not quite as vulnerable looking as they are. They should all be wielding steel short sword. They should all have wooden shields, and be ready for mostly some other things. It would be great if they, they trained hard enough to develop some decent martial skills. I think we're kind of still working on that. Let's take a look at someone arbitrarily. We got old zombie over here. Let's take a look at their combat skills. Master Observer, Deceptive Disciple, Adept Fighter, Talented Striker, Wrestler, Dodger, still just very much learning the sword door stuff, but not bad. Be great if these people start to develop armor skills, because right now they will move quite slowly, especially as they put on heavier and heavier armor. But I think we'll just put up with it as is and call that good enough. No. Does it matter what order they equip the leather and what metal armor? I don't think it does. I think the only restriction is that they can only have one piece of shaped armor in a layer, which, like the breastplate is an example. But I don't know if the ordering matters. I don't know if the layering comes to play for the damage calculations. I'm not certain. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's something we can control from the uniform. Maybe we can't whatsoever. I'm not sure. So Quirky Plugs wants something to be constructed. Let's take a look. You want some bolts. Yeah, I can't, I think we've just been making bolts kind of on the fly as we go here. I think what we'll do, we'll still just ask for some bone bolts to be made right now, because we should have plenty of bones kicking around. We do not have an archer squad at all. We're going pure melee on this run. So we can make our bolts out of wood or bone as needed, so that just for our hunters. I mean, if we need to, we'll make some copper bolts or even steel bolts if we want them to be really effective. But I don't feel like there's much need for it, so. Yeah, farm's going very well. Love to see that. And everyone should be pretty busy. Yeah, lots of people smoothing stuff. Yeah, because I did issue a lot of smoothing commands, but I'm happy with that. Someone dropped. Okay, I had noticed, I was looming around the fort. I had noticed some things had been designated as to be dumped. I think it was the clean own command, either run directly or probably through the clothier module that running in DF hack, which causes the dwarves to dispose of the old clothes and mark them as being dumped. So I thought, okay, I put a little 1x1 garbage zone over here just so that we can keep track of the stuff that's getting dumped this way. What are we gonna do with it? I mean, we could, when we get the magma, we could just throw the stuff in the magma. But the other thing I could do is just sell this clothes. Are closed doors still indestructible? I don't believe, I think there are some creatures with the building destroyer tag that can destroy construction like doors. Maybe someone can, I mean, or at least I think that's the way it's supposed to go. If it's not the way it is correctly working, then yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in Passable, I think the building destroyers can take them down. Yeah, I think so. Now, I think that only applies to locked doors. Like over here, these doors aren't forbidden or anything. So I think, like, if there was a troglodyte run around here, I think they'd be able to go through the door. But I think if we did lock it, it might stop them from going through because they don't have the destroyer tag. I think trolls might have the building destroyer tag. I think a lot of forgotten beasts do as well. Not sure. More migrants! All right, we were at 98 population at the start of the stream, so we can watch that number go up. I don't mind more, because I do want to kind of make a 4th construction squad if we can. Right now, honestly, I'll appreciate the help just accelerating some of our smoothing operations over here. Gonna be A-okay. Okay, these over here are set up. Let's go to Tomb, Multi, boom, 3 more done. And yeah, we need to assign them to Krieg and Wild Wayfarer. Wild Wayfarer and Krieg. Is that satisfying you? Excellent. So yeah, you want bolts and you guys just don't want me to trade anything away. Oh yeah, Quirky Plugs is also a broker. That seems okay. Big migrant wave. It was. Now the size of the migrant wave is affected by the created wealth of your fortress, which has been going up pretty steadily. Who's grumpy? Yeah, I wonder if it's one of the newbies? Oh no, it's Quirky Plugs. The Count of Sword Murder. Nobles, man. Angry developing getting into an argument. Lonely being away from people. Satisfied at work, euphoric. Good dining room. Producing masterwork. Why are you so cranky? Irritated, developing on having to conduct an official meeting in the dining room. Became more angry. But you have an office. Like, I don't get it there, Quirky. Why are you so... The mayor wants something done. Why are you so cranky about things? Because you should. Yeah. You got your dining hall, your office, your bedroom. You consider it to be high enough quality. Mayor, what do you want? You want me to make a couple of gloves? Well, in theory, they should be being made automatically, but I'll go ahead and order... actually, I guess we don't make gloves. We're making mittens, mostly, but I suppose I should change that. We'll just ask for a couple other gloves to be made and satisfy the mayor. Yeah. I don't know what counts so unhappy. If they keep being miserable, accidents may happen. I don't know. Check the justice system. Yeah, no open cases, so we didn't have a situation where a mandate was unfulfilled. Because if a mandate is unfulfilled, they, like, blame someone, and they want them to be punished. Check if he still has an old room. Yeah, how do we check on that? If I look up quirky plugs themselves, can I see what rooms are assigned to them? How does the alphabet work? M, no, P, Q. There you are. Ah, you do. So, Quirky Plugs owns this, so I can just remove this assignment. Because would they sometimes go there and then be upset about it? I mean, he complained about, like, or they complained about doing official business in a bedroom, but they have an office. I would have thought they would have gone there for the official business, or did they just get interrupted? Probably more than the expected containers. Okay, now you've got a bit of a complaint. Oh, that's why, yeah, I remember seeing that he didn't have enough chests, and I was like, why is this? But it's because he still had the old chests in the previous room. So that's okay, we can just assign more here. Build, furniture, chest. We'll just give you an extra chest in your bedroom. There you go. Make that work out. Yeah, just smoothing this stuff over here because it'll make me feel good. See that? Smoothing this, which again doesn't matter. And then digging-wise, this is starting to come together. Good. We have any artifacts yet? We do, actually. We have 4 currently. I believe we may have sold one of these, or, sorry, given it away as a gift to the Dwarven traders. There was just a post on the DF subreddit, I think today, or maybe late yesterday, of one of the DF hack people working on one of the many like little filtering screens for when you're placing things on pedestals or other display items to make it easier to filter and search, which was one of the things I was definitely complaining about here in the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress. It's very hard to like just find artifacts, unassigned artifacts to put on your pedestals and organize them correctly, which wasn't an issue in the classic version, possibly via DF hack. So someone's working on a new DF hack for this. Quirky Plugs wants us to build something. What do you want? You want more bolts? We just finished a bolt order for you, I'm assuming. Annoying. All right, we'll ask for more bone bolts. Fine, we got plenty of bones. Times 2, please. I did see the OpenAI offices seen the overflowing of paperclips meme. I did. And the paperclips thing is one of the AI arguments of like the danger of AI is not like malevolence, but like human stupidity. Like if you make an AI that's supposed to like optimize the production of paperclips, then they could decide to like melt down the entire world to make paperclips. There's a great idle game based on the concept. My absolute favorite, Universal Paperclips. Google it, play it. You can start it now. Open it in a second browser window. You'll have a great time. Big Daddy Voodoo, ban and exports. Okay, that's fine. The ban and exports is fine. I still haven't figured out in the announcement file how to split up the mandates, because I don't actually need to be told about bans. I just want to be told about like job requests so that we can fulfill them. You're overdue for a Universal Paperclips run? Yeah. I do them every now and again. Okay, so we can start doing a little bit of work here. I'm going to make this area into our woodcrafts area. So, workshops. I'm going to put down 2 carpenters. And I'm going to put down a bowyer. Although we probably aren't actually going to be making any more crossbows because we're not going with a crossbow squad. I am going to make a new stockpile over here. This is going to be for wood. Right there. And then I'm going to make another stockpile right over here for furniture, because the carpenter should basically just be producing furniture. Now, I could say only furniture made out of wood. It doesn't really matter, but I guess just for the sake of organizing, as I'll say. So this is just going to be a wooden furniture stockpile, and yeah, all quality is going to be okay. But it doesn't actually matter. Money for Essentia, money for Essentia.
What is a dwarf's favorite barbecue? Short ribs. What is another name for a dwarf raid? Microaggression. What's another name for a dwarf noble? Dignitary.
Dignitary! Alright. I needed a beat there. Ammo. Wood. Who was that? It was MJ. Oh man, I want some barbecue now. People barbecue short ribs? I mean, they must. And by barbecue in this case, I'm assuming the low and slow style of barbecue as opposed to grilling. I usually associate cooking short ribs with like a pressure cooker kind of thing. Because short ribs do need a fair amount of time to break down all their collective tissue and